All right, 6 o'clock, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. All board members are accounted for. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Jeff, do you have any additions to the agenda?
I do, we did add one, I think it's already on there, the cooperative agreement, just to call that to your attention for girls basketball.
So that is item number 7.
Yep.
All right, look for a motion to approve the agenda as shown.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Pete on the motion, Jody on the second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. Yeah, I'm not gonna count yours. We're gonna go 6-0. All right, scheduled presenters. We have Nicole from United Way. The
Yeah.
floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Well, hello everyone, good evening. My name is Nicole McElkey. I'm the United Way Executive Director for Goodhue, Wabasha, and Pierce counties. And I don't know, Lori, do we have this beamed up or no?
Oh, yeah, we do, I just
And,
gotta get it up
and
there.
that's okay if, like,
Oh, well, whatever.
there we go. So tonight I'm gonna talk about packing for the weekend. This is our after-school program that we provide to a couple of school districts in our area. We'll just go through the, you can advance, superintendent. We'll just go through the overview. We'll talk about the program in Cannon Falls, and then I'm happy to answer questions or if there's any discussion. And feel free, maybe as I'm talking, you can even maybe, look at some of the food if it's not too noisy. It's really shelf stable, but you'll get a sense as to what we're providing. So we started this program in January 2011, and it was started in Red Wing at Sunnyside Elementary School. It was identified by teachers who found out some, little kids were not getting enough food over the weekend. So it was sent to about 30 teachers, and they identified the families that needed support. At the time we ran in 2011, it was really ready to eat meals. So, think of anything that kind of could be put in the microwave, that kind of thing. And then the meal items were put in backpacks like they are today for students to take home. So we are in Lake City, Red Wings, and Broda, Cannon Falls, Goodhue, and Wabasha Kellogg schools. So how we used to buy our food was through Channel 1 Food Bank in Rochester. And then we would get volunteers together and they would help pack it, and it was a whole great community initiative. And then COVID hit and we couldn't have volunteers in the schools or rely on the faith organizations to help pack, and we had to kind of pivot. So we ended up partnering with this nonprofit that is based in Roseville, and it's called Every Meal, and their whole mission is to fight child hunger through community and school partnerships. So families have the option of choosing these meal packs, and so one's for East African diets, green is, kind of fits all the families, and then orange is for Latino diets, purple, Southeast Asian diets, and then yellow is the more commonly kid-friendly, kind of do-it-yourself, ready-to-eat items. So if you look at the metrics, last year we served about 24 students. Sometimes in the beginning of the year we start out a little heavier. We'll have like maybe 5 more or so, and then sometimes throughout the year we kind of lose a couple. Might just not fit for the families, or maybe like things are a little bit better at home and so they don't need maybe the weekly meal. So but we're about consistent at 24. And then you can see on your PowerPoint how many meal bags we actually deliver during the school. So green is 408, the orange is 60, 18 for the blue, and then 90 for the purple, and then 204 for the yellow. So we see a real theme for most of our schools in that green and the yellow are definitely the most popular. And so the green really fits any and everyone, so if we would have a family to add, and there was extra green, we would likely give them green. The families can choose at any time during the school year if they want to change their meal packs. And then oftentimes, the school social worker, if let's say 3 kids in the district are from the same family that would get the meals, they might say like, pick 1 green, 2 yellows, or they can switch it up if they want. The program cost last year was $5,224.32 for Cannon Falls. And most of that is, obviously, we're a nonprofit coming from donations and a little bit of general fund that we take care of this. This year, we're thinking $7,245.04. And in the board's packet, I think I put in there the every meal pricing, just so you can see what the price is per bag. This year, every meal is also charging a trip fee. So that's something that they haven't charged in the past. And just with anything with rising costs, we're just gonna have to pay them. But they make it really easy. They come and they deliver mainly to the elementary school, and we work with Courtney Molitor in the elementary school social worker. And she does a great job helping administer the program, getting the information out to the families that would need it. So I can't thank her enough for all the work that she does. So then the program next steps, what we want to do is we want to continue to stay close to the families, check in with them, and have like a simple survey just to see like, are they happy with, the food that they have? Do they want to make any changes? And then get the school social workers and stakeholders together to talk more about the program. See if there's any changes, enhancements to be made. And I guess for the board ask, it would just be learn more about this program, continue to see if it continues to be a fit for students and the families in the district. And then we are always open to ways that we can get the community to support this program more. So business support, school appeal campaign, foundation support, all of that. And then I just on the last page just have my information and Courtney's information, and then my colleague Sherry's information. So that is it really for my 5-minute spiel, which might not even have been 5 minutes. But does anyone have any questions? Either from the audience or the board, or?
I do.
Yeah.
And maybe I missed this, but as of today, how are families made aware of this program? Is it an email? Is it?
We send at the beginning of the school year, and typically it's done later August or September. We send a note to all the school social workers that we've worked with before, and then they distribute out to either families that might need like some assistance, and some school social workers send it out to everyone in the district. So some, I know like in Goodhue, they send it to everyone, whether or not you need it or not. I think in Wabasha they do it, but we kind of let Courtney decide and the school social workers to see who should get it. But we don't start delivering until October because you don't start school until September. So we need a little bit of time then to get everything rolling.
Do you know how Courtney does it today? Does she make everybody aware, or just?
That I might have to check in with her. She's usually pretty good though about getting it distributed to the families that, need it. And then too, again, if there would be a family that would need it, we would let them add, the family. So, the thing is right now is like we don't really know what's gonna happen with like the SNAP benefits or like the food stuff or any of that. So we're just kind of in a holding pattern to see, are we gonna really see a big influx, or will we see numbers kind of stay the same where they were? As far as the cost breakdown, what I do is, how I arrived at that projected cost was I looked at like roughly we deliver for about 34 weeks during a school year, and then I'm basing on what last year's numbers were and like roughly what the green, what the yellow, orange, purple, blue were like the cost, and that's kind of how I got that projected number. So yeah.
Other than people donating financially, I can see on here, is there a spot for people to donate like their time?
We don't have any, like,
Is it not like a packing, like assembly line
Yeah,
situation?
it
type
used to
thing?
be more like that. So it really is, a lot of it is confidential in the school. So it would be like reaching out to Courtney and saying, is there any, would you need any help with this? But the other thing is it's kind of like the food is put in the backpacks when the kiddos are in class. Nobody really knows. The other thing I will say is like mainly we serve elementary students or, you know, maybe even a little bit lower, but we see a drop off in middle and high school because then they don't always want to take the food home. But it is available for middle and high school too. We just then see that, well, they want like Doritos or, you know, like something fun, right? Or they maybe just have an understanding that, you know, we need to take this food home, and we can't force them to take the food home. If it, you know, sits in their locker, it sits in their locker. But elementary kids are willing supporters, and they'll take it. So I think the one thing with like any other involvement besides financial support, we have tried in the past just like a snack drive, because a lot of times like school social workers will be like, we'd love to have snacks. Now, everything with every meal is proprietary, so we couldn't put like chocolate milk in a bag or anything like that. But that is something that we've thought of in the past too, of like, if kids are hungry, I mean, it would be nice to have the kiddos get, for all the kids that were getting these bags, for them to have the extra snack too. But again, if a kid's hungry, then we would just say, have a snack. You know, so another thing to think about, you know, involvement.
Any other questions?
No, thank you. This is
Yeah,
very
Well,
yeah,
this has
thank
been-
you so much.
This has been a great program.
Yeah,
With the
yeah.
calls over the years, so.
Yeah,
we
and-
thank you for your involvement.
Yeah, and there's, I mean, again, it's long-standing and really no plans to sunset or anything. I think it's just nice to get into all the school boards and let everyone know that it's still continuing, so. Does anyone wanna see the food and wine? Great, well, thanks for the opportunity. I'll take the
Thank you.
food and- Yeah, right away. I'll miss the exciting business. Thank you.
You don't have any snacks for us, do you?
That's what all the kids want too.
All right, public input. Anyone like to speak to the board? Then we will close public input. Consideration to approve the finance report. Josh?
We'll be getting a whole lot more financial information here in about a month or so when the audit is complete and presented. They were in our offices last week. We're doing some wrap-up documents for them and questions that may follow up as they tie everything out and finish it out, but we are on schedule to present the final audit for fiscal '25 at the November 24th meeting. A couple things in this report. Bank balance on top would be all of the combined funds into the advance. Main things to kind of look at would be the Goodhue County taxes, Dakota County taxes, as that second half of our property taxes being now distributed from the counties. You see it at the tail end of October, and the first part of November, and then you'll see the final cleanup in the first part of December. Really what a lot of that funds go towards in our district is ramping up the balance for debt service. And you'll see right there the 2015A would be the first of the debt service payments. That is off schedule a little bit. Most of our debt service payments happen as a principal payment in the end of January, beginning of February. This one is scheduled to go December 1st. The remaining part of our debt service, the UNESCO project, the field house, the auditorium, those sorts of deals, will happen in that end of January, beginning of February payment. So while that cash balance is quite nice, keep in mind that it includes all funds, the general fund, food service, community ed, debt service as well. So otherwise, really not a whole lot outstanding in what we have presented here. If there are any questions, I'll certainly do my best to answer.
Any questions for Josh? If not, I'd look for a motion to approve the finance report.
I'll make a motion.
Jolyn on the motion,
I'll second.
Ronnie on the second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda. Items under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted under one motion. In the event a board member wants to discuss any item, it will be removed from the consent agenda for separate action. Jeff, could you read the resolution of gifts?
Yes, we received $10,000 from Gemini for the Innovation Lab, $571 from St. Ansgar's Church for school supplies, $338.79 from the Ed Foundation for some independent genre study books for Ms. Franson, $211.94 from the Ed Foundation for headphones for Spanish, $656 from the Ed Foundation for the Oxbow field trip for 3rd grade for Ms. Catterlick, and $3,000 from Olivio for robotics. And we do thank our generous donors.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'll look for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll move to approve.
Luke on the motion,
I'll second.
Pete on the second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have no student rep here today, so we'll move on to Sue's report.
Basically, it's just the action items as read. We are steaming toward the vote on Tuesday for the operating levy. And so there's some final information push that's gonna be coming out. We're sending flyers home in the backpacks to remind parents to go and vote. And then we're gonna try to get a sign made for out front to remind people to go and vote on November 4th as well, if we have enough final to print them. So,
All right,
I know we need to make sure that people realize where they need to go vote. Talked to
Yes.
somebody the other day and they're like, well, I'll just go. And I'm like, nope, you're gonna go here. But I'm not in town. Well, no.
all right, we'll move on to new business. Consideration to approve the 25-26 winter coaching list.
Reed is under the weather right now, so he is not here, but the coaches are as listed here. If you have questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Look for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Jolyn on the motion,
Second.
Luke on the second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consideration to approve the updated 25-26 fundraiser list.
There was only one added.
There was
down
one
for-
addition, right?
For Spanish, yep. For the Spain trip, down near the bottom.
Sounds cool to me. Look for a motion to approve the updated 25-26 fundraiser list.
I'll move to approve.
Ronnie on the motion,
I'll second.
Jody on the second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consideration to approve the Minnesota State High School League Resolution Governing Board Support Form A application.
So by Minnesota statute, the Minnesota High School League has funds set aside that they disperse to each district, which basically ends up being based on the amount of free and reduced lunch applications. And we use that for Angel Fund for activity fees for kids. And so this is the form to apply for those funds, and we will use those throughout the year.
And what kind of participation do we get on this? From our families to fill this out, do you know?
The school just has to fill it out.
Oh,
And-
this is
and-
just for the, okay.
Yeah, this is just for the district to fill out.
Okay,
And so then we send it into the high school league, they cut us a check back, and we have those funds set aside for those families
Okay.
that request assistance.
But I think, what is the participation of the people submitting it to the district office
The free and
that
reduced.
we then pass on?
Oh.
Like, are we getting?
Well, if
Yeah,
they
that's
come
kinda
in
what- that's what I
requesting
meant.
assistance, they have to fill out the free and reduced form, for sure, if they haven't already. So, what are the amount of, who, like, what is the number of kids that we have?
Or,
Like
yeah.
percentage of families in the district that fill out the free and
Fill out
reduced
the form.
form.
Because we always wanna, because
I would guess it's 28 to 30%.
Okay.
This year, it's much lower.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
we
is-
need them to fill out
we
the
need,
application.
yeah, we're
Yes.
supposed to be encouraging
Yes.
Correct.
everyone.
It's all
Correct.
online through a parent portal, through
Okay.
Infinite Campus, so they should be logging in and filling that out. No deadlines have been, you know.
And ideally, we want them filled out before October 1st, right?
We would like
Ideally, to
that.
get the most bang for our buck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But any time,
Mhm.
that's how we got the summer food last year.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Not gonna happen next summer.
Are we anticipating the drop and roll because of the free lunch program at the school through the state? Or do you, is that a statewide drop on these forms?
Somewhat,
Because I don't think that's common knowledge around how the forms are utilized outside of
yeah.
getting
Yeah,
free lunch
is
historically.
kind of cut into the amount of
Okay.
people that have been filling that out.
Right.
over the
Yeah,
last-
the name of the form itself is kind of tricky.
It,
Yeah.
I
Not
definitely was on my soapbox for the last couple of years of trying to get people to fill out this form, because it is, the more people we get to fill it out, we actually get funding for other programs in our school district. It's not just about free and reduced meals. They use the count and the number for many, many other things. And I think a lot of people just look at it and they see, oh, free and reduced lunch, I don't qualify for that, so why would I fill it out? So it is a frustrating form to fill out, or to get people to fill it out, so.
And
Yes,
it's an annual form, correct? You
Yes,
should fill
annual
it out
form,
every
every
year.
single school year. It's online, super easy, or there's a paper version too that we still have that we can get in. But yes, tell your friends and family, please, fill out the
If a
form.
family were to transfer in, are they able to fill this out, or does it go back to the original school where they transferred from?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
They can fill it out
So it'd be
on
specific to
registration,
ours.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think notoriously, Lori, isn't it, it's always usually in like the 20 percentile.
We're just under,
Yeah,
what we
so it's
need.
20% of our families are the only ones that fill out this dang form.
Mhm.
You know, and so it's a very, very low number. I mean, yeah, the more people that fill it out, the more literally free funding that we get for other things in the school. So it's literally free. All we gotta do is fill it out. So, yeah.
We need to bribe with like popcorn days in the
So,
classroom or something
I-
like that, so
I-
the kids keep reminding
I
them,
talked to
or what?
Lori about that, and apparently there's very, very strict rules. No bribery. There's no, you cannot.
Probably
So,
not.
This is America.
I know. I tried to come up with some ideas on how can we get people to fill out this form? Pretty, they're stingy about that, so. yeah.
All right, back on track. Okay, I'd look for a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve.
Luke on the motion.
I'll second. Rodney?
Randy on the second, yep. This is a
And then I'll go ahead
resolution.
Resolution.
I'll
Yeah.
read and then we'll vote.
Yep.
All right, whereas the Minnesota State High School League Foundation was formed to provide support for Minnesota's high school youth to participate in athletics and fine arts, whereas the governing board of Cannon Falls School District Number 252 recognizes the value of student participation in extracurricular activities, and whereas the MSHSL Foundation is offering grants and funding to assist schools in recognizing, promoting, and funding extracurricular participation by high school students in athletics and fine arts programs. Therefore, be it resolved that the governing board of Cannon Falls School District Number 252 supports the school's application to the Minnesota State High School League Foundation of Form A. And so I need a vote. Rondi?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Luke?
Yes.
Clinton?
Yes.
Pete?
Yes.
And myself as a yes.
All right, moving on, item 4, consideration to approve the Minnesota State High School League Resolution Governing Board Support Form B application.
So, this is a grant that is given to school districts, and generally, school districts can work together to apply for this grant, and that's what's been doing here now. The HVO schools are applying for this Form B grant for that speaker that was brought in earlier this year. I'm guessing the State High School League already has dollars set aside, but districts need to still approve that we're applying for this Form B to get those dollars back. there was a leadership speaker that took place in Casson. Some of the kids went down there earlier this year, and took part in that, and along with other HVO leaders. So I recommend approval on this.
All right, look for a motion to approve the Minnesota State High School Resolution Governing Board Support, Form B.
I'll make a motion.
Pete on the motion.
I'll second.
Jody on the second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And I'll-
It is.
Oh, that's right.
It is.
Darn it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, one too fast.
I'm excited. Ready? Whereas the Minnesota State High School League Foundation was formed to provide support for Minnesota high school youth to participate in athletics and fine arts, whereas the governing board of Cannon Falls School District Number 252 recognizes the value of student participation in extracurricular activities, and whereas the MSHSL Foundation is offering grants and funding to assist schools to provide seminars, training opportunities, or support for specific school functions for student, faculty members, and officials, and others who are involved in athletics and fine arts programs. Therefore, be it resolved that the governing school board of Cannon Falls School District Number 252 supports the school's application to the Minnesota State High School League Foundation of Form B. Look for a vote. Rondi?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Luke?
Yes.
Clinton?
Yes.
Pete?
Yes.
And myself is a vote yes.
All right. No more mistakes, promise. Consideration to approve the 25-26 teacher seniority list.
This is an annual item that the board needs to approve, that basically okays that this is the list of teachers listed out by seniority. The teaching staff has seen this list, and if there were any mistakes on it, they have been rectified, and so this should be a correct list.
I haven't done the math, but it looks like longevity is pretty good here.
Mhm.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Look at all the way into page 2 for
Yeah.
20-plus years. It's pretty awesome.
It's very impressive, actually.
I'll look for a motion to approve the 25-26 teacher seniority list.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Rondi on the motion, Joe Lynn on the second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consideration to approve some MSBA policy updates.
MSBA did come out with 4 policy updates recently. The policies were passed through the policy committee, and there was no concerns brought forth from the policy committee, so we do recommend approving the updates as recommended by MSBA.
Any questions on any of these? If not, I would look for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Jody on the motion.
I'll second.
Luke on the second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consideration to approve a girls' basketball cooperative program between Randolph and Cannon Falls for the 25-26 winter season, which would actually be also 26 and 27.
Yes, this would be a 2-year cooperative per the rules of the Minnesota State High School League. Recently, actually not more than recently, for the past 2 or 3 weeks, we have known that our numbers for girls' basketball is going to be short, and so we've been trying to put together some information and making sure that we had an accurate picture of what we had for numbers coming into this coming season. We finally put a hard deadline of today for registering for this upcoming season so that we knew how many numbers that we were going to have in 7 through 12. Plus, we already passed the State High School League deadline for the cooperative, but we've worked with the high school league prior to that deadline, and so they've allowed us a grace period to try to work this out. to see if we could have enough numbers to at least have a JV in-house, and/or a junior high in-house. And the numbers that came back today is that we had 5 girls in grades 9 through 12 and 9 girls in 8th grade sign up for basketball. And so at this point, to make sure that we have an opportunity for girls that want to play basketball to play basketball, we are recommending getting into an agreement with Randolph Public Schools. They were the only ones actually in the area also that have agreed to go in a cooperative agreement with us, so this is our only choice for that. We did check around with other schools as well. In looking at other schools, not only in this area of southeast Minnesota, but also there are some others in the state. Girls basketball in general, the numbers have been declining throughout the state. That's been kind of a known thing the past couple of years, and unfortunately, I think it's obviously caught on here as well. And I know other schools in southeast Minnesota aren't too far behind from experiencing the same sort of pain. This would be a 2-year agreement, and so we are recommending all of our kids in 7 through 12 in the girls' basketball program be part of this partnership, and we would review this every 2 years to see if we had enough numbers to bring the program back in-house again.
What are the overall numbers for both of them together?
I don't know what Randolph's
Okay.
numbers are.
It does say.
If you go down in here, it's listed.
That's
right?
last.
This is
Oh, last year.
Yeah, and so, I had heard today also that Randolph's numbers are low as well. I can't verify that.
Yeah.
That's just hearsay. But that would fall into the narrative of what's going on
Yeah.
around the state
Mhm.
as well. And I heard that again actually this past weekend as well from some Randolph students. So, I would guess that that's probably true as well.
This sucks.
It's not ideal, obviously. I know that the program has been struggling for a while with numbers now. The hope would be to obviously bring it back here at some point, but it's gonna be, at least a couple of years.
I do like the fact that we can still have girls being able to participate.
That's probably the biggest thing, is to provide an opportunity. Our job is to provide opportunities.
Would students be responsible for transportation from here to Randolph then, or their families?
Yeah, yeah. In our current cooperatives, Randolph has their families drive here, and then Goodhue also has the same thing.
Okay.
going on.
Have you gotten feedback from the parents about that? Driving?
Reed's worked with this mostly. I have not heard anything from parents.
Okay.
But, and parents obviously were a little shocked when we first started messaging about this, and they were kind of all over the board, which took us a while to kind of get everything into different buckets of choices,
Gotcha.
which was kind of hard. If we stay here, we'd have a JV only and an 8th grade only, or we may not have anything, and then you're at risk of kids moving out, which we don't want.
Mhm.
So you have to provide something, so then you have to call around to different schools to see who would possibly be interested in pairing, and so it's been taking a while to get that all lined up. So,
Does it make sense at all to leave, like, the 8th grade numbers are good? Does it make sense at all to leave that alone for a year?
well, and that could be an option, but,
I know no matter what, next year, once they go to 9th grade, then
yeah,
they have to become a part of it for at least 1 year.
they have to become a part of it for the following year, and then the thinking, in making this recommendation of moving everybody over there at this point, it gives chances for kids in that 8th grade group to be a part of the program, and either if their skill level, is there, and they can play up to like a ninth grade level or something like that. It gives them that opportunity to expand upon their skills a little bit. And then if they go there just next year, then they kind of go into hold just for that 1 year as well. So,
But is that something that we'd need to decide right away? If we did vote on this and this approved, would it have to be an approval of 7 through 12?
yeah, that's what, I guess that's what we're expecting it to be. You know,
I
if
just-
you didn't want to do the 8th grade piece,
I also just look at, you know, parents for transportation and stuff. Of course, at those younger levels, that's going to be even harder, and it just gives one more year for that group to play together. And then, I mean, we don't know how many kids Randolph will have in that grade, whereas 9 is already a pretty good sized number. If you add another 8 or 9, like, I understand some will play up, but just something to consider.
Is it something-
Just because when we come back next year, I mean, girls change a lot between 8th and 9th grade,
Yeah.
so.
Is it something that we could poll the parents on of those current registrants, those 8th grade registrants?
I think we already have some data on, what was the different options of if we did co-op or not co-op. I mean, that's the information that we have.
yeah, parents have already been polled on that.
Right, and I mean, it's my understanding that the consensus is they don't really want to play up, right? So
There's a couple of them in there
Okay.
that would, out of that. And, you know, even if we moved a couple of them up, now you only have 7 in 8th grade and 7 in JV, and between injuries, sickness, whatever else kids miss throughout the year, and we'd
Right. almost
be looking at canceling games. And even it's hard enough to play with 7, just run up and down the
Yeah.
basketball court.
Yeah.
So.
Got a few thoughts, I guess. So I know you recommend we do this, but is Reed recommending that as well? And, okay, because Ronnie and I met with Reed and as the high school league reps, and I don't know if we came to a decision from that group or that meeting, but, you know, we spent a lot of time trying to come up with numbers and trying to find a way to make it work. I think, and I'm gonna do my best to talk about this without going into my personal beliefs of what's going on and why there's exodus in this, but what happened is there's a set of girls that are choosing not to play. And they're, whether that's because they're gonna focus on other things or school or whatever, they have had experience and they're not gonna play, so it leaves us with a limited amount of kids. And my concern with the co-op is if we send, especially those if it's 7th and 8th graders, if we send them over there, the problem has been we're forcing kids to play at high levels. Like, we've had 8th graders playing varsity, and while they're good athletes, it's been really hard for them, and they haven't had success, and hasn't been fun, and there's injury risks, all these things. If they go to Randolph, which I'm thankful they're willing to do this, we lose all control. So Randolph says, hey, this 7th grader or this 8th grader is really good, we want to put her on varsity, we're in the same boat. We're not solving the issue that we have here.
I think the parents have had some control over that, though. And, you know, I'm talking to the coaches about that, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so, but, and then my other concern is, you know, even the 5, 9 through 12, there's individuals there that probably aren't driving. So how many of them are gonna either not be able to play, and then we're giving them opportunity in the co-op, but they're not gonna want to. I don't think we have that information, from what I understand.
In the survey, they asked parents, and I think there's one here tonight, but they asked parents if we do go to a co-op, would you be willing to go to a co-op? And those were yeses.
But did any of that say anything about transportation and being provided, or not?
I can't remember.
Because I think that changes things, and I'm not saying it wasn't, I just think that could potentially change things. The other part of this is we looked at eliminating the varsity program and just taking a break because we don't have any seniors. So while it stinks for everybody, especially those that have had some varsity experience. So we looked at JV, and we looked at 3 levels, JV, C, and 8th. Numbers come back, we don't have enough. And we looked at JV and 8th. The problem with that is you would need some of those 8th graders to be subs, and they can't go back and forth at that level anymore. The new state high school league says you can go up once, you can go back down once, and then no more. So that's a separate problem. What I think could be an option, and we'd have to have time to talk to some of these families, but if we did a B squad and an 8th grade, so 8th grade can stay at their comfortable level, and a B squad is not governed the same as a JV level, I believe,
What is a B squad?
or C squad, whatever, so it's not varsity or JV, so they say they would have the ability, so it would allow those 8th graders to play a half of B or C,
It'd be the
whatever.
grade level, so if it's 9th grade.
If it's 9 through 12, then it's all governed by the
Then
state high school.
State high school league covers 9 through 12.
9 through 12, though.
And so
Okay.
if it's just 8th grade and below is not governed by the state high school league. Anything 9 through 12 is governed by the state high school league. That's what I was kind of wondering.
That's a change.
Sure.
B squad.
And I thought B squad is JV.
That number
Is
is,
it-
that terminology has changed over the years.
Okay.
Currently, we have varsity,
Yep.
JV, and C squad.
Yeah, back in my day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, back in my day.
You know, the whole thing is frustrating to me. You know, I've coached 3rd grade girls basketball, 4th grade, and now 5th grade consecutively here. And we're having kids never even try basketball because they're doing an out-of-season sport. And, or they're not interested, the numbers aren't there, whatever it may be, but it's happening, and it would be really nice to get all of our coaches in a room and talk through some of these things so it doesn't continue to happen, because the fact we won't or couldn't have a program here is ridiculous. And in my opinion, it is somewhat self-inflicted. I certainly don't think we should be sending our 8th grade, that we got a good core of 8th graders there. I don't like the idea of sending them over there, in my opinion.
I would agree with that. I'd hate to see, we do have a good core of 8th graders. I'd hate to see them have a bad experience, and not saying it would be a bad experience, maybe it would be an amazing experience. But the parents to have a bad experience, having to commute them over there, and then risk losing what we already have, our low number that we already have. You know, if it would be possible to even split or just do those high school teams.
So you guys understand though, right? The first year, if you want to keep them here the first year, that's fine, but the second year, they have to go over there
Right.
as part of the co-op
Yep.
with that, because it's a 2-year agreement.
Again, my concern is those 8th graders, the numbers will dwindle, or could dwindle, if they have to get to Randolph every day for practice or in games on their own or their parents. And then nothing's being solved. From what I understand, those 8th graders really want to stay together. And again, they go over there, we lose that control.
The only thing that, what I question is how tough is it gonna be for us to get another school that's willing to come here to play us for just one level? That's going to be tough, I'm sure. I mean, we get to keep our dates no matter what, that we already have, the home dates that we already have in the schedule, correct?
For the HVL, yeah.
Yeah, so those games.
And the away, I mean, our HVL schedule, we're locked into unless we don't have a team.
Right, but the way it works is like whoever's the hosting team, they can change their schedule around some, right?
As far as time or dates.
Just if they, let's just say a team had us scheduled for us to go there, and they find out that now we only have an 8th grade, for example, can they be looking to book someone else for that date to fill that?
If it's non-conference, they
If
might.
it's non-conf, only if it's non-conference?
Yeah, but the HVO, because we are in a conference, we have a set schedule for that.
If we keep eighth grade out, is that frustrating for Randolph to go into this with us? And now their eighth grade doesn't look great, or won't fill up a team that they want, or, you know what I mean, like have the numbers that they want for on their end, you know?
And I don't wanna go over assumptions, but I mean, I would have to assume that their numbers, if they're higher, probably are at the 7th or 8th grade level, because that's just kinda how it naturally is.
Okay.
So I would think that would be fine, but I don't
Okay.
know directly, but, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
And that's why I say when we already have 9 that signed up, that's
Mhm.
tough. If all of a sudden, say they have 8 or 9, now we have a lot of kids in that age level, and I know that they can get moved up
Mhm.
some, but,
And I've spent a lot of time on this, trying to connect with folks and try to understand what's going on, and I've got a pretty fair understanding of what people are thinking, but I think some of this needs more time, and I know that would mean we're already out of time, and we'd have to have a special meeting but I would appreciate being able to talk to a few of these parents.
I say, what else would you like to do? What do you feel like I could do this and this, then I could maybe make a decision, or have a better idea on a decision? What do you feel like you need to?
The parents have already been contacted by Nick, and there's been surveys sent out. I don't know if going to talk to them individually is gonna make that big of a difference, other than we already told you no, or that we're not signing up.
Or what more information do you think you need?
Well, I have concerns that if we do a co-op, not only the 9 through 12, but the 7th and 8th we're gonna have less there. The 8th graders especially want to play here.
Yeah.
So, and I think that the 5, they just wanna play ball.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not gonna keep that from happening by how I go about this, but it would just be nice to ask the question to folks, but.
You can certainly approve the co-op tonight and then hold off on 8th grade for now. But I think at some point, we gotta let Randolph know for fairness about what the intent is gonna be. And that's gotta be real soon, because practices, at least for the varsity, begins on the 10th, I believe.
2 weeks from today, for girls.
I'd also be curious, this cooperative agreement, is there flexibility? Can we do it on a year-by-year basis? It has to be a
Yes.
2-year,
Yes.
state high school league says it has to be a 2-year.
Yeah.
If both schools agree to dissolve, you could do it after one, is what I understand, right?
Recheck with that. I asked that question too.
So tentatively, you're thinking move forward with it, but keep 8th grade ours? Is that
I'm
kind
not
of your
making
thought?
that recommendation.
No,
No.
or is that kind of what you were? No, okay.
When you polled them, did you have any negative feedback on anything?
Redid the polling.
Okay.
I think the negative feedback would be that
I
we
just
only
was
have
wondering if
5
the parents,
kids.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the
I think there's frustration with the low numbers.
Yeah.
yeah. But like, and the polls are another part where I know it's the parents and the kids' responsibility to fill those out, but I know one that did not fill it out, and we don't know if she's gonna play or not. So that's just kind of where I think there's probably others like that too, but.
Well, we need to provide our kids options.
Mhm.
And the number that signed up by today, it doesn't show that we have enough, unfortunately. And
What was the number again?
we have 14 total,
Yeah.
9 of them are 8th graders. we can only go with the information that we have here today and not speculate on what's could possibly happen.
And that was made known, I know you said, Jeff, you said you don't recall the answer in the point, but the parents are informed that they would have to provide transportation from here to Randolph. That, I don't know if that would sway people's decisions, but
I don't know the exact question and how it was formed. And so, I don't know if you guys remember that, Angie, or Dwayne. You don't remember if that was put in the survey or not? It was
They
just
did.
asked about the
They
cooperative.
did ask, just if you would be willing to co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing about transportation.
okay.
They coming or not?
Yeah, we're a small group, I'll allow comment.
Well, what is your minimum number if, let's just say there's a hidden 2 or 3? What is your number to say, no, we're not gonna co-op with the JV or B squad, whatever you wanna call it? And your concern, I think, is valid when you say, we have 9 8th graders, and let's just say they have 9, all of a sudden, that's a lot of bench time for kids that wanna play basketball. Sure, we're providing, but we're providing a lot of sit time, you know? And naturally, I hate to say it, but they probably would take care of their own before they take care of ours. I mean, I'm assuming that, and I apologize for that if I'm offending anybody, but is there a drop dead zone? Hey, if we got 7 kids out for JV, we'll go and stay on our own, or is that not the number? I don't, I think that the 5 that signed up are definitely just wanna play basketball. They wanna go. They have a driver's license to get over there. They don't have to worry about their moms that are working till 5 or dads working till 5 and can't get a ride. Then at 8th grade, I would have a big concern, just as, I don't have any, but to drive over. Not, that's just a outside opinion.
Thank you.
If it helps at all, we have heard that there are around 7 8th graders signed up for Randolph. That's what we've heard.
As far as a number, you coach basketball, you know, they can't play with just 5, obviously.
Well, that's why, I mean, personally,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, that's where, you know, asking what a number would be, we need to have 10.
Ideally, you know, between injury, sickness, even just.
And have a
having
practice. Believe me, I coached basketball teams that we constantly had 7 or 8 kids. It was terrible. We could never have 10 of there at the same time. The run of practice is brutal. I know it's inevitable that the current 8th graders are going to have to go next year. They don't have to this year. I don't want to do that.
So how do we do that with tonight? Because
I think
if that's a recommendation, to separate it out, or we can just submit.
Yeah.
You can,
We can make a motion for,
Does this
to
have to be like
approve,
rewritten then, or?
to approve a co-op, but it's going to be 9 through 12.
Okay, so we just chop off 7, 8 on that application list then?
yeah, but
Or that's just
we
more
can list it out
information.
because State High School League only governs 9 through 12.
Oh, sure, okay.
Anyway. And so, keeping the 8th graders here, you know, is an option. It's just, they're gonna have to go next year just
Yeah.
because they're winning one of
And then the year after, it'll be a reevaluation and go from there.
Are those 8th graders allowed to play up if we separate? Can they go to the co-op and play in?
I don't know how you do that other than they would have to
Try out for Randolph.
try out for Randolph.
Try out,
Yeah.
okay.
Which I don't know.
I think, you know,
There
the,
again, then you're leaving the decision up to them.
Yeah, we're empowering them to have the call, yep. Yep.
You know, and if they went all together, you know, if the eighth graders did go over there, then those kids that do wanna play up, you know, they could try out to
Yeah.
play up,
Alright.
obviously. But if they're here in eighth grade, then that's where they're at.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm trying to find a way to rectify the problem that we have in numbers, and I think that keeping those eighth graders together, where they're at their level, where they can have some success and be with their friends is important, is very important, because that's what we haven't had. We haven't had the numbers like that, and because when they have gotten to eighth grade, they've had to play varsity and not had an enjoyable experience that way, so.
I'd look for anyone that wants to make a motion. These aren't fun ones, but we gotta give our kids opportunities.
So do we want to make a motion to move forward with a co-op with Randolph with 9th through 12th grade only? Leaving 8th grade here.
Were you asking me a question, or were you making that a motion?
I am making that a motion. I am moving forward with that as a motion.
Okay. Jolene on the motion.
I know we gave a hard deadline, but what's everyone here's opinion of giving it, Rebecca starts
Soon.
next week, is it? So I mean, it's 2 weeks. So even if we gave it till Friday and we had a special meeting quick Friday morning and we could see if we could get a couple more numbers. I know you said 8 isn't ideal. We would be wanting to double our 9th through 12th. That's probably far-fetched. Or, you know, we've given it a lot of time. I know parents have been aware of this for a while. I don't know if it makes a difference for any of these parents, if they would come seeing that it would save it for here, you know, if the girls would be willing to play, kind of a Hail Mary.
Unfortunately, I think a lot of them have made up their mind.
Okay.
That's just my person. I mean, they've been contacted multiple times.
Yep.
They have. They've had every opportunity, and I don't know what a few more days is going to bring for that. And at this, in the same time, like, you know, we don't want to be just, you know, really direct with the kids, like feeling like they're getting pressured into something that I guess they don't want to do.
Yeah.
I've already gotten in trouble for that. No, I'm sorry.
No, I think it's important that we're doing our best to, at least, there's an opportunity.
Give them an opportunity to be on the courts.
Correct.
Yeah.
At a bare minimum.
Yep.
I have a motion right now. So that's the cue that I need a second.
I will second it.
Okay. Jody with a second. So the motion and second on the table is to form a girls' basketball co-op with Randolph for 9th through 12th grade. Any other discussion? And we're going to do a roll call on this.
Yep, we'll do a roll call vote. Rondi,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Luke,
Yes.
Clinton,
Yes.
Pete,
Yes.
and myself is yes.
I would just add, thank you to Randolph for willingness to do it, because it is beyond late in the game to do it.
Yeah.
So I will give them the props for that.
Much appreciated for the girls.
Yeah.
And we don't exactly know what the costs and stuff is gonna be involved yet, but
It'll be
we're
a
gonna.
similar formula to what we have with our current agreements.
All right, well, that's everything that's on the agenda. This is our last meeting before the vote, so keep continuing to remind the public to to get out and vote. The next time we have a meeting, we will see what we have and what direction we go in. And so positive thoughts there. Wanted to add, we have one more public meeting left. That is tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and we do have childcare. So anyone that watches this, bring the kids.
And where is that at?
And that is going to be at the auditorium with,
At what time?
at 6 o'clock. I did say that.
Oh, you did. Just reviewing it again for the public.
And our childcare will be in the field house. So
Perfect.
what are we gonna do for a protocol there for, do people come to the field house first to drop their kids off? Okay? All right, sounds good. Bracelets, name tags, no. Lots of dodgeball.
We'll have the Cannon Kids staff worry about that.
And we'll have hoops down so we can get them going on basketball.
There you
go.
Recruiting tactics.
All right, you see some other items there that we have coming up. Is there anything that you guys want to add? All right, if not, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Pete on the motion,
I'll second.
Rondi on the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.